everybody. How you doing today? Gonna talk about message God gave me. Okay, so I was doing some healing on myself and I was releasing a lot of pressure, some buildup here in my heart. So my heart and then my emotional gut, sometimes they get linked together and there's just like a really tight rubber band and kind of a choking thing, an energetic conflict thing. So I'm struggling emotionally, or struggling with something that's really built up in my heart. It's like the geyser has to release because pressure builds up down there and it's just got to come out, you know. So sometimes the energy just gets built up in there and it has to come out. So if you're a self-aware person and you just choose to just stop for a minute and really get a feel for what is it that I'm going through? What is this feeling? What is this saying? What is this about? Why does this have to do with the past? I'm not even thinking about that right now. But something inside yourself remembers. It's like muscle memory. It recalls your life story. Your cells recall your life story. So sometimes the life story has to loop back around and it has to be faced again. And whatever is friction, whatever is pain in there, you got to sit with it. You got to sit with yourself that got hurt. And you got to hold yourself sometimes. And this isn't just like, I'm holding myself. No, this is, I'm in an altered state and then I'm facing what's echoing back. But this was weird. This was weirder than logic, okay? This is abstract stuff. This is the real material of the universe is really that interesting. Okay. So God had asked me this question, why do I let maggots into my heart? Why do I let maggots eat away at my heart? And like, what are you talking about? Because what happened before God asked me that is I was facing some kind of memory that I had no idea about, but it was time for me to be aware of it. And it had to do with an insect type being. And so I showed you guys this picture. It's rough because this is life, life looks like this in all authenticity. But this is the beauty of what you've become, the beauty of what you've learned. This is all your soul learning. It makes you interesting, okay? And so somewhere in the spider web of the cosmic, infinite everything, we connect with each other. We send ripples out, whether we consciously do it intentionally or something subconscious within us. We just send out beacons. We just send out information. It's just constantly, we're just constantly sending information out, okay? We don't know everything. We just don't know everything that we're doing all the time. So there are beings, interdimensional beings that cross our path and they have exchanges with part of our consciousness. And we don't even know that we met these beings because we're not the part of the consciousness that we're allowed to be aware of everything. I'm convinced the human race could be aware of everything, but I don't know why our dynamic creates these like pockets, okay? We have the forefront of our mind, but then we have these like unconscious behaviors that we just like, I'm used to this. I'm just like in the rhythm and the routine. It makes my life easier. Don't want to break that because now I have to work on myself, And then we have like the subconscious mind. But if we could just put it all together, instead of having these walls up, who put the walls there? Why do we have ego? Because ego builds walls. Ego's not about, you're doing great, you're amazing. Ego's like, oh, we gotta check this, if you're have that kind of ego. But if you're a very shallow person, you have that kind of ego, you probably would be like, I am the best, I say it, I'll say it, I am the best. Yeah, I am the best. I'm the freaking best, As another part of me is like, okay, yeah, you're the best. So we have these conflicts with ourselves, right? So ego is self-assessing and judging and making things simple and let's just create unconscious movements because life is easier that way and simple it on down. But then we have this like subconscious or this consciousness or the soul. We have all this that is having exchanges all the time that we have no idea is going on in here at the forefront of our mind. We just don't. So in doing this journey, because I was feeling like so much intensity built up in my heart and it was hurting, I could energetically feel it. So I stopped to check on what this is. and to work on myself because I need to breathe through that. That's some kind of pain, life pain, soul pain. I don't know. So I was shown this storyline about this insect being that had found me in the universe. And this insect being's timeline was very lonely. It was very cut off. And it somehow crossed paths with my expression. And I was not denying, I was not rejecting, I was not pushing it away. I was just like a 3-year-old child. This is a thing with little kids too. They're just so loving and so open. There's beings that come and go in these child's worlds, and they will love monsters because children are capable of unconditional love. So I loved this being completely. And something about the dynamic of being this insect-like being is there's a commitment that is made between two consciousness. It's like two swans are married for life kind of thing. So this being was committed to me. And there were exchanges taking place, but because I had no conscious awareness of this, there was a continual emptiness because this insect being basically gave its existence to me. Therefore, I then gave my existence to it without conscious awareness. And so it wasn't quite complete, okay? So in my journey, I was being shown this, and God is going to talk to me about the word, the maggots in my heart, which I'm going to get to. So once this is being revealed, and I'm seeing these different exchanges between this insect being, and they're kind of, I want to say inappropriate, because as a human being, you don't cross certain boundaries, okay? Well, it's what my dynamic for appropriate and inappropriate is different for the dynamic of other things in the universe. Because their dynamic, it's different. The expression of love, the giving and receiving of love, the meaning of it, the loyalty, it's different. And so I can't really fault it for being itself, being true to itself, being kind to me in a way that I am just experiencing this now. And I'm asked to make a decision for the well-being of that insect. And at first, it's like, you stay on that side of the line, and I'm going to stay on this side of the line, and this is over between me and you. Because you can't continue a relationship with somebody who can't honor you on the same level that this exchange is about to you is not what this exchange is about to me, even consciously. So it's time for you to move on. And if that is continual loneliness, then that's what you're going to have to face. That is just your path. My choice, your path, okay? And so then God asked me, because I sent the insect away, okay? But the insect was loving. The insect was absolutely, genuinely, authentically cared about my well-being completely, okay? Now, have you ever met anybody that cared about your well-being completely, but it wasn't the right fit? It's just not the right fit. So that just happens, That's cool. It's really special. It fits or it doesn't fit, So God then asks me, why do I welcome maggots into my heart? But I would not welcome that insect being that loves me completely into my heart. I'm not marrying the insect being though. So I can't let it into my heart because I don't want to give it the wrong idea. Because I don't speak, that's not my life is not the insect being and I, it just isn't. And I was confused. But I'm going to tell you, this is important. So I told God, I just don't understand what you mean. Like I let maggots into my heart. I mean, are we talking about the times where my life was really difficult, like really painfully difficult? And I have to face those breaking points. And it does. It feels like maggots have infested your heart and are eating away at the rot. And they're becoming flies and you're just full of like the rot realm inside your body. There's realms of rot, by the way. There's a realm, maybe there's multiple, but there's definitely a realm of flies. I've been there. If you're depressed, you will go there because it's the realm of rot. And depression is rotting away, okay? And the realm of flies is very tricky because the flies like to eat rot. And what does rot smell like? Well, if you get used to the smell of rot, it smells beautiful, especially to the flies. And you yourself will become kind of like the fly that is attracted to the smell of rot. And depression is very hard to get out of. It's very hard once you adapt it to the realm of flies. It's very hard to get out of that realm of rot. So it's tricky. So, I was going through memories and God stopped me. God said, "What is the happiest memory of your life?" I was like, And it was the weirdest thing what popped into my head first. I don't know, maybe I was 7 years old. It was the first time I got a pet, okay? So at 7 years old, I want to say 7 or 8, I got a cat. It was the coolest, it was the most specialist thing. Like, I don't even think words can describe it, because I was pretty convinced I would never have a pet in my entire life. Because my parents weren't about pets, okay? But the thing is, we had this wood pile, and there was this little meow behind the wood pile. It's a kitten, Lucky. And this kitten had been shot in the side of the neck. And so we tended to it, and I went to summer camp, and I got a postcard from my parents, because it was the last time I was going to see Lucky. They were going to take it to the vet and then kind of guide it where it needed to go. Well, in the postcard, they told me that they were going to keep Lucky, and when I came home that I would have a pet. Oh God, like even recalling it right now, I feel like I could cry, because it was the coolest, most specialist, most greatest gift I could have ever been given at age 7. I got a pet. It's kind of weird that it gets to me like this, but when you're a child and something happy happens, you're 100%, like you're so there, you're completely immersed in being there, like totally there, You should think about, what is your happiest memory? It's not my happiest. It was the first one that came to me, and it surprised me because I was pretty sure that wasn't my happiest memory, but it apparently was number 1 on the list. It was the first one that came, and it got me thinking about all the other pets I've had, and were they the happiest memories? And I just started having this conversation with God about this pet and then that pet, and what they meant to me, all these pets over the years. And I just got to stopping and thinking about the maggots in my heart and what God was talking about, the happiness. And it was something weird, because I had a pet named Bubby, okay? And when Lucky died, we got Bubby. I named Bubby myself, okay? I don't know why, but it's the cat's name. It was Bubby to me, okay? So Bubby had some issues. Bubby had some definite issues. And I think that reached in my heart or my inner child or something, because I didn't feel like Bubby was in my heart, but Lucky was in my heart. And then our cat Simba was in my heart, because Simba was so beautiful. And Simba and Bubby got along extremely well. And Simba had blue eyes and white fur with like spots of like black. I don't know what kind of cat, but it beautiful, really, really beautiful cat. Got it from a farm at my aunt's house. And so that was a pretty exciting moment, because it was Christmas and we were there, and I got to meet this beautiful cat. And of course, like, can we keep it? Can we keep it? My parents are like, okay. So we bring Simba home. I didn't pick the name, but Simba it was. And Simba and Bubby were friends, but it got me thinking about, why isn't Bubby in my heart, but Simba's in my heart and Lucky's in my heart? What was it about Bubby? Because Bubby peed on everything. Bubby peed on everything. And we had to take our allowance in order to get a couch reupholstered, because we couldn't get the smell out. So Bubby peed on everything, and it was not a favorite of the house, okay? And I grew up with that about Bubby. And so it got me thinking, what do I put in my heart and what do I not put in my heart, and why? Wasn't Bubby still worthy of being a part of my heart? I found it disturbing that Bubby wasn't, because he really was a part of my heart. I love Bubby, but I also, I guess, kind of didn't. So I had to figure out what that meant to me too. And God was challenging me, showing me something I forgot about, which isn't really that forgetful. I just didn't think of it. So when I help people that are going through an extreme conflict, I will take some of that rot, and then I can move an entire frequency pattern that is total chaos, totally rancid, total mess, in order to alleviate what that client is digesting. And so when that mess is out of the way, they aren't smelling it, they aren't in the ripples of it, they're actually able to get a clearer picture, a better picture, inhale and exhale a different type of energy of themselves, their own clarity. And so they can lift themselves up and out of predicaments, energy predicaments. Because your energy predicament is not my energy predicament. So I can go and help you a lot easier than you're going to be able to help yourself. It just kind of works out that way. That's why we need to help each other. So I'll take filthy, nasty problems out of people's radio stations, and I'll put it into my heart, because my heart is heaven, my heart is God, and then I just put that in my heart, and my heart just digests it. I don't feel any worry, I don't feel any discomfort, I don't feel any fear about it. Why am I so fine with that filthiness, putting that filthiness into my heart, but I'm not fine about putting the love this insect being had for me since I was 3 into my heart? Like, what does this mean? Why was Bubby not in my heart, but Lucky and Simba were in my heart? Like, what does this mean? Do you guys understand the profoundness of this conversation? Do you understand? You're going to have to ask yourself, what is in your heart, what is not in your heart? Or what are you willing to put in your heart that is rot, that is maggots and flies and rancid filth? What are you willing to put in your heart that isn't love? And so naturally I can have this conversation with God about, well, it's the action itself is love. Like, and my heart is capable, like my heart is this furnace. You put the log on the fire, and the fire consumes it, and the fire gets brighter. So I take the energy and put it into myself. I get brighter from doing this, okay? But this is different. This is a thing. So at the end of the story, I was very vulnerable, but I started practicing. Like, I put Bubby into my heart where Bubby belongs. Like, Bubby belongs in my heart. I started to put things that I could tell were separated. I create this line, okay? And that defines where I stand. Because I find the human world, when you're very self-sacrificing person for the well-being of others, you will be consumed, okay? You will be molded and shaped, chewed up and spit out all day long. And so there's something that had to be hard as a rock about this kind, gentle, loving person. I had to get coarse. I had to create a line that I say, if you can't love me the way I would love you, then I don't want anything to do with you. And it's not even that hard. It's just a respect thing. Like, you're not respecting me as a human being. I give patience. I listen. I'm going to be honest. You might not like it, but I want to hear what you have to say. Like, I want to hear from you. I want to have a wholeness with you. But that doesn't really work a lot of the time here. It's pain that people are in. We're working with a lot of people in pain all the time. And so I think it's time for me to look at this, because that's also my boundary. But my boundary then might be preventing love from coming in too. And I have to assess that. I have to become aware of how my dynamic might be putting up a wall that is not, I wasn't aware that I was doing it, or I wasn't aware that it was there. So I had to let the insect into my heart. And it didn't mean I was marrying the insect. It just meant that I loved the insect too. That's all it was. It didn't mean that the insect had to do so, or I had to do something for the insect. It didn't mean anything except I was allowing the love into my heart, and I was grateful for the insect. How cool is that? Otherwise, like, I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Now go away. Verse, okay, thank you. I accept you in my heart, and we still share the same ground. And you still respect me and understand me. and I respect you and understand you. And I feel like that's probably what's missing in the human world is we don't realize that that's the ground we all share. Instead, we're just creating these walls that are pushing each other away further when we're not actually violating anybody by just loving each other. And that's something that has to change here is we have to start to feel a little bit safer with giving and receiving. Love isn't a weird thing, isn't a vulnerable, like, oh, you love me, you want to marry me or something. It's like, no, I just love you. That's it. I just love you. Okay. Thank you. I love you too. Okay. Yay. Like that feels good. That feels good, you know? So that's where that energy healing went. My heart felt a lot better. I didn't feel necessarily like I got to the end of the journey because I get windows of time and I choose to take time for myself. Like I clock in to taking time for me, okay? You have to clock into taking time for you. Otherwise, you're just wishy-washy about it. Like you probably take time for you, but you need to take ownership that you are giving yourself time. Like I'm giving myself this time to watch this movie. And nothing else matters right now but this time with this movie with myself versus just going through the actions and just days pass and you never really realize what all you gave to yourself. I give myself this breakfast, you know? I give myself this time brushing my teeth. I give myself this time, you know, to take a walk. Like I'm giving to myself. It's important to take ownership of what you give to yourself. So I give myself time and I sat down to give myself time to navigate what hurt inside that I don't know what this is. Like, what's my problem? I don't know what my problem is. And so I stop, close my eyes, and then I navigate what comes up from within myself. It's like what I teach, psychic development. It's just developing your sensory skills for navigating your inner universe, which is an external universe. It's literally learning how to navigate this, which is within you. It's inside and outside, but it's more so inside than anything. You navigate this, and the rest of the world can do whatever it wants. But you have you. You have you. So... and you'll have answers. You'll have inspiration. You'll have wisdom. You'll have healing. You'll have juice in there. You'll have fuel for the fire that isn't the maggots. It's actual love, you know? And so I had to kind of close it before I felt full circle. But I actually feel like this is the end of the journey where I actually get to talk about it and share this experience with all of you. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting and maybe it awakens something inside yourself. Like the way you're hearing me tell this message, maybe you see something from like your side of the disco ball of the totality. Like you see something unique to this that I'm not seeing. It'd be cool to share, right? And so the more we share and connect, the more we learn together. This is like a classroom. This whole earth is our classroom. And so we are learning together from each other's angles. And if it's safe to share and be part of each other's angles and just this is my authentic viewpoint, you know, then that's open, that's breathable, that's fresh air, that's reaching each other's souls. And so yeah, I feel inspired to comment and feel like I've come full circle and feel blessed to be able to share this with all of you guys. I kept seeing this image. You know, I love this about the Asian culture. I love this because I think it's so honoring, you know. Like this is literally honoring. Like I am making a point to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You watched this whole video. Thank you for watching this and receiving this. You took time for me? Seriously? Thank you. You know, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I thank you, YouTube, you know, for creating this platform for me. And I thank myself, Abbey, for having the courage to come out here and to do this and figure out how to do this. Like, and I thank God for this experience that I'm blessed to have. You know, I'm thankful for this. So I just wanted to do this. If I can help you in a session, you know, navigate this in your world or teach you how to navigate this, you know, book a session at my website, abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. Have a great day, everybody.